Okay, so I'm going to Paris, Texas, to Engine Dock Automotive Shop. They do milling. I didn't like how this turned out, as far as there's kind of a little bit of pitting, and I tried a plastic razor blade to get the black stuff off. You know, I know it's nice and smooth, but you know, I broke it down this far, I might as well do it right. So the guy's gonna do it for $40 completely, just shave it. I'll give you another video whenever it's done, but it'll work out pretty good. Basically what we're looking at is gonna be the this is the same cylinder head. If you watched my other video on the brake caliper rebuild, this was soaking. Let me see here. This is the exhaust ports, and man, they're clean. I mean, nothing fancy, but they're clean. The only thing that I did not like was going to be the inside the, let's see here, the exhaust ports. Basically, I couldn't get every little speck of carbon out, so I'll probably work on that later. If not, it should be fine. It's just little speckles here and there, which I don't want to go off, and I don't know, it should be fine, I would think. But anyway, that actually worked out. That chemical bath worked out pretty good. It's the Berryman bath, and you do not let it sit for too long, because it's aluminum. You want to only let it sit for less than 4 hours. So I did 2 hours one side, 2 hours the other. I took a tube brush for tubes from Harbor Freight and kind of crimped down the end of it, and ended up taking the end of the thing, putting it in my drill and running it in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, until, I mean, you could see the gunk that just gooped out of there from the chemical bath. Kind of softened it up, and of course the intakes were already clean. They just had oil and stuff, but that bath took that right off. Other than that, I mean, you know, once I get it milled, I really don't know if it needed it. As you can kind of see here, there's slight pitting. I don't know if that would have caused leaks, but man, I mean, you spend this much money on OEM head gaskets and stuff, you don't want to have to do the head gasket again. I did not touch it with a Scotch-Brite or anything. I used plastic razor blades, and I did attempt to get some of the deep black stuff off and see if that was just, I could kind of feel it from my finger some places, and I was just making sure that wasn't gunk. So I took a brand new razor blade and did a 90-degree on it and kind of ran it over it flat to see if I can get it to come up, and you know, it did kind of get some of this off, and I just didn't want to take a chance. So I never like taking razor blades to aluminum surfaces. As a matter of fact, if you watch the videos, there, you know, CNC people would rather you take a brand new razor blade, 90-degree, or even just flat, and try to get this stuff off. Brand new razor blade would do less damage than a Scotch-Brite or a Whizzer will. So, you know, you just got to pick your battles. I talked to a shop, and initially they wanted a lot of money to do all kinds of stuff. They would take the seals out and clean it and mill it, and I said, well, heck, I can do all that except for the mill, and it might not need it. So I ended up taking it to the same place after I cleaned it all up and got it ready to go. And initially they were out like 2 weeks, you know, and I said, well, could you get it in today? It's already cleaned up, ready to mill. And he said yes. And I said, well, how much? He said, well, bring it to me, and I'll give you a price then, because I'll tell you one price now and it might change once you get here. And I respect that, but at the same time, I've already changed course and I'm headed to Paris, because the mill shop there is highly recommended, and they can do it while I wait. And $40 just to true it up, to kind of take a little bit off. I guess it would get some of this black stuff off. The pitting part, I believe, is between ports, which I don't think that will matter. It's mainly the seal, I would think. No pitting around here. It's perfectly smooth. No pitting around here on the outside where it, you know, so where it counts, there's no pitting. I think it's just from the you know, the fluid, the liquid being run across there so much that it has a little bit of pitting. If that's even pitting, it is. I can kind of feel it. It's not much, but I'm sure they'll just wipe it clean. I'll take a quick video on the next one, just show them what they do, or if I can figure out how to edit it together, I'd like to do that so that I don't have two videos on it. Another thing on these is the valves stems. I got new ones. They were Bronco. The intake fits perfect. Now the exhaust, it was flush. The originals were flush. They weren't pushed in, which would have been bad. They weren't hammered. They were flush with the seat, and they look good. I mean, I'm gonna clean them up, take all the carbon off, and then there's no pitting or anything. It's real smooth on here, real smooth on the valve stem, so I don't even need to reseat them. I'm gonna of course test them. I think I'm going to put denatured alcohol, put the spark plug back in, denatured alcohol down the exhaust port, and just check and make sure it doesn't leak anything. So, but the Bronco, now here's the thing on those Broncos too, is they're coated, okay? If you take a coated, let's say this had carbon buildup on it that wouldn't come off from a normal nylon brush or a soak or whatever, or it was pitted, you know, a little bit, and you could tell where it'd been getting some blow by or whatever it's called whenever it was getting something past the valves, which this is not the case here. But if that's the case, then you take them new valves and you put a fine grit on there, lapping paste, and you put it on there and you lap it, okay? Even some people use drills, you know, they put a tube and they drill and they one way, the other way. Basically what you're doing is you're just getting that surface back to smooth, any pitting or any type of carbon off of there cleaned up real nice so it'll seal. The Bronco stems, valve stems, they actually have a coating on them that you do not want to lap too much. So, I mean, you don't want to lap that coating off. I mean, where it seats is not coated, so it's hardened. So I think you'd be fine. But if you sat there and lapped it to where you got some of that coating off of that valve stem, you're looking at premature failure of your stem. So on this case, I would probably, if that stem fit like this one's intake fits, I would throw that new stem in there and check it for seal and call it a day. But yeah, I'm pretty happy on how it turned out. That soak actually cleaned it up really nice. You know, it's Berryman, so it did pretty good. All right, thanks for watching.